everybody, and welcome back to another episode. My name is Dana, and today my guest is Adam Hammerman. Hello, Adam. How are you?
Hi, Dana. I am well. Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm glad you're here. So before we get started, why don't you take a minute and just tell us a little bit about you, what you do, and all that kind of good stuff.
So firstly, I want to say that aside from really appreciating being here, I am a big fan. You have a way of making cybersecurity so easy for the layman, and I consider myself a layman when it comes to IT. Just for us to understand, we've connected on LinkedIn, and that's my major social media platform that I really take part in. And I've just always watched your videos, been really appreciative of everything you've done. You make it clear, concise, and it's just so easy for us to
Well,
understand.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And you're going to help everybody today do the same thing. They're all going to learn about something. So
Yes.
today, before we get started, we're going to talk about our topic. It's going to be security awareness training for the C-suite. And I think this is a very important area because as you and I were just talking about, there's a lot of vulnerability up there. And so our first thing we're going to get into is asking you this question. So what is your exposure to cybersecurity education? And you can take it away from here.
Well, I'm the vice president and CFO of New York Medical College, which is a part of Turing University. It is the largest institution of higher learning in the healthcare industry. So we have over 30 different schools, over 19,000 students. We are very large. We're national. We're actually international. So we have facets throughout. Being a part of that and being the CFO of a medical school, I have actually been recently told by our IT department that I am the number one attackee in the entire university. While that it could be considered an honor, it's actually a lot of pressure. So based on that, I have personally not only over the years received significant education. They've put a lot of controls over everything that I do for my protection, for my computer's protection, for the university's protection. Because, being the CFO, you become the major person that people want to attack. We control the money. Every year I go through annual education with our IT department, and our IT department is stellar. But, just like, they can't be everywhere. We also have to be their extension of them. And we also have to be the eyes and ears. And we also have to think twice. And they give us the proper tools to allow us to be able to think twice when it comes to cybersecurity.
And the IT department can do everything in the whole wide world. But if the people side of things are not trained or know what to look for, the hackers know it's a lot easier to trick a person than it is to hack into a computer system. So that's where we need to make sure we're focusing on the education part of it, which is why I'm happy today we're going to talk about the C-suite, such as you. So another specific question about, obviously, why do bank robbers rob banks? Because that's where the money is, right? So why would a CFO be a target, right? So why do you believe that they're the biggest target, aside from the fact that, you
We
control
control the money,
the purse
yes.
strings?
And
Yeah.
we are, because very often we have to be constantly doing things. There's so much we have to worry about. We have to worry about, capital infrastructure, capital budgets, operating budgets, assets, liabilities, you name it. We have to worry about cash management in particular. And very often we will be working really quickly. And we have to always hit pause before we take action. We have to make sure there are controls in place, not only financial controls, but just even computer controls. So one quick story that a number of people can probably relate to. Years and years ago, before I was so involved with the security, I get an email from the president of the university. Adam, can you make a transfer for me? And I was doing multiple things, multitasking, as many of us do. I see the email. Of course, just give me the details. I hit reply. A couple of minutes later, I get, great. Here's the amount. Here are the wiring instructions. Just let me know when it's done. So I hit pause. That's when I hit pause. I'm like, that's not really like our president just to send me an email like that. Let me just quickly call him. I pick up the phone. Hi, Adam. Listen, about this transfer. What transfer? Thank you. That's all I need to hear. And that's when I started to look in. Who did I reply to? What did I do? And the email it had his name on it. But when I hit reply, it was going to someone else. And that's when I called the IT department. I said, hey, check this out. Oh, wow, Adam, this is the first time we've seen that here. This was years ago. Well, since then, there have been many more attempts and things like that. So that's just things to keep your eye out for. And it really opened my eyes. And then after that, we've grown and we've done a lot more. I'm part of our Information Safety and Security Committee now for the entire university. We have an enterprise risk management. Where ERM, where on these risks, we identify things that are potential risks. And data security and information security is always on there. It's a constant thing that we need to keep on top of. And I'm the executive sponsor at New York Medical College to make sure that we keep on top of that. And we keep education going and keeping on top of everything that has to do and every facet that is there for security.
Well, that's great. And that's how you're kind of jumping into our next question here. So throughout the university, what else would you say is going on as far as everybody trying to thwart a security situation? Is there education throughout the university? I mean, obviously you're at the top of the heap, so it's obviously important to start with you, but what's going on throughout the university to make sure nothing bad's going to happen?
So our IT department does a lot. There's annual training that every single faculty and staff member must go through, and it's an online tutorial. They keep updating you with new things that come about. Then there's quizzes just to make sure that you are paying attention, you are going through it, you are up to date, and everyone must complete that annually. On top of that, for a good number of us, such as myself, who are targets, we go into this thing called Proofpoint. It's like a sandbox. Anytime I click on a link, it does not automatically go to the link. It gets put into the sandbox. And there are sometimes when there are links that are quote unquote kosher, they're good to go, but the sandbox hasn't been updated with what these links are. And I have to just tell our IT department, hey, this is something I think we need to go to. Just check it out first and then put it into the list of okay and approved websites. That's another thing. We also have quarantines. The emails come in constantly. They don't also automatically go to my inbox. Sometimes they get quarantined based on the source they come from. And then I get a list twice a day of all the emails that get into quarantine. Sometimes because they're sent out in such mass amounts, this is an email that I really need to see, but the quarantine list says, that's weird, let me take a look at that. And I get an option to go through the list twice a day and say, okay, release this, release this, release this. So that these are also other different controls that are put in place. And look, attackers are smart. And we have to try our best to be one step ahead, or at least make sure that mentally we're able, as I said before, to hit pause.
Are you having a hard time finding new customers? A lot of folks just like you in the IT and cybersecurity space are in the same situation. And they have embraced a new opportunity to get new clients. They're doing this by growing their online presence and maximizing the power of LinkedIn. How, you ask? I have a tried and tested method called my Cyber Social Program. I myself have been on LinkedIn and now have over 3.5 million LinkedIn views, and over on YouTube, I have over 750,000 video views. So I can show you exactly how I have done that so that you can promote your organization and become the authority in your industry. And the best part is, I've done all of this organically without one paid ad. You don't need to waste your money over on Google with pay-per-click ads. Now's the time to establish yourself. Look around. The competition isn't doing it. This is your time to shine online before they do. So if you're ready to start your online journey and future-proof your business, please, down below, click the link and schedule a time for us to have a 45-minute call where I can review the exact methodology of the Cyber Social Program. You can also click below to see some of my masterclasses, which will give you quick little snippets of a couple of things you can do right away on LinkedIn that will help with your profile. I hope to see you and hear from you soon.
And we just have to be cautious. What else is there? I think I've covered most of the things that we do at this point.
Well, some of the things you're talking about that are very important. You know what they're making you do? They're making all of us slow down and pause and look. And, that's what a lot of it is. And that's what I always say, that these guys that they target emotion and urgency. And they know we're busy. We're doing 5 different things at the same time. So you get something that looks very similar to something you received from somebody before. So, okay, great. Let me just check it off the box, get it done, text away or type away. And that's what they know. So by having things like Proofpoint and the quarantine, where you have to actually stop and take your time to go through. And you're looking at a list of items that were quarantined, so you're going to want to make sure, like, you're not just going to say, oh yeah, let's let all this stuff go through. So that's what I think we all need to do, is to slow down when we're looking at our emails.
Yes, exactly. I agree. And it's very, very tough sometimes, but it's so important. And remember, if it's sent to you through an email, if it was that important, they would have picked up the phone and called you.
That's exactly right. That's exactly. And I think some of the young people now, they don't talk to anybody on the phone. All they want to do is either text or send an email. So they need to understand that if it was that important, somebody will call, and that they should use the phone too,
Right.
not just send a text or an email.
And I mean, we get those, and we've been exposed. And one of the things we learned is even in text, sometimes you will get links. WhatsApp is another way of it. People suddenly, you get a connection from someone. Who is this? How'd you get my number? I'm not responding. I don't know who you are. People have the ability now, with their cell phones, unknown callers, they'll leave a message. You can call them back. It's don't even start with that. And we have, as you have sometimes, a senior population where they're, involved with the university. Sometimes you have to just take that extra step and really just do as much as possible to educate everyone.
Yep. So, being the CFO, what advice would you have for other CFOs with regards to cybersecurity?
It's there's a lot of responsibility on our shoulders, not just for the job you do, but to actually be, as a vice president, as someone in the C-suite, your entire team looks to you. You have to really, be that person who, as much as possible, be that model of safety and security, because the worst thing that could happen is for you to be that doorway where the virus came through, or someone, and the IT department is really good at, when something happens, they're able to pinpoint the entry. Walking into your office saying, this computer is where it came from, because then your team will be like, I can't believe, I'm a supervisor.
Yep.
You want to be that model, because you wouldn't want your team to be subject to that. So take every single step possible. And as you said, hit pause and hit, just wait, just think through. And if something looks fishy, ask. I've actually learned that when I get an email, I'll just cut it, put it in the body of another email, send it to my IT team, spam ? And I'll let them check it. I don't want to be the guy who's checking. Oh, it looks okay.
Yeah. That's very, very good. All right. So what advice would you have for anyone else within the institution? And this is going to be true for whether it be an education institution or a business or anything.
Yeah, it's really, unfortunately, there are people who not only want to steal, but just want to do harm, because that's what they think is fun. And we've all worked so hard for our businesses that you just have to be as cautious as possible. Don't just trust. Even when I go and I get from friends, hey, please make a contribution to this fundraiser, and it gives you the link. Okay, you learn, if you put your mouse over the link, does it look like it's going to go somewhere that it says, is it the name of the institution that they hold? Okay, and you get there and they're asking for your credit card information. Is that little lock in the upper corner next to the email address? Is that going to be secure? Are you sure you feel comfortable giving your information? Because once it's out there, it's out there. So just think and just do. Obviously, support all these organizations as much as possible, but just be cautious and make sure it's the right organization that you're supporting.
Yeah, definitely. And if you can take the name of the organization and go to Google and open a different browser and just go to the website directly and then make a donation that way, as opposed to, clicking on links. Anytime we can avoid clicking on anything, we're better off. So
and I've actually learned stuff from just watching your videos. Don't put so much out there on social media. Don't let other people be able to get into your day-to-day routine. Know a little bit more than they have to. Know where your location. Know where, share up to a point.
Absolutely. And the other thing we need to think about is not only is it what we're sharing, but with the amount of data breaches that are going on every single day, data breach everywhere, that's a little bit more of your information that you didn't expose, but it's been exposed. So now we take what we're exposing with the information that is being exposed in data breaches, and it puts together pictures for these scammers and hackers that help them do not so good things.
Yes.
So, yeah. All right. So I think this is our last question. Do you believe there is any situation where you can feel 100% safe from attacks online via email?
I would love that to be the case. And as we've just basically said, never let your guard down. Always, at some point you can feel comfortable within certain areas, but just think twice. Just double check it, because the risk that much greater. What happens if this gets out? You hear these stories of people who are subject to attacks, and their identity has been stolen, and all these things. Take that extra moment to just be careful. And especially when you're in a position, in a CFO position or any C-suite position, it's not just you, it's your entire institution. And God forbid something should happen. You want to make sure that that is all controlled and you are doing your best. Because as I said, the IT department can do an incredible job. And we are so lucky to have such a great IT department at Touro University and New York Medical College. But we're all an extension of that team.
Yep. Everybody's got to do their part. So with that, that was excellent. Very, very good, helpful, important information. Is there anything else you want to throw out there before we go?
I just want to say again, I'm a big fan, and I am very, very honored that I get to be a part of your series, your education. And I recommend that everyone, really listen to Dana. She knows her stuff, and it just makes it that much easier. Share it with your family and friends, because it's just so much easier for everyone to be up there and be on point when it comes to cybersecurity.
Absolutely. And the more conversations we can all get started, whether they be at home or at work or with our friends, the better off we're all going to be with protecting ourselves. So thank you for your time and all your awesome information. That was very, very helpful, Adam.
Thank you, Dana.
All right. And thank you, everybody, for watching. And until next time, we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.